Good day, my dear students and dear my colleagues. My name is Shagimoldina M O. I am biologist teacher in Nazarbayev Intellectual School of Astana. And today I would like to talk with you about the organization of living things. And objectives of our lesson will be to understand that the body of a living organism is a highly organized structure, to understand that cells, tissues, organs and systems represent increasing degrees of organization in living organisms. Okay, key concept. As multicellular organisms develop, their cells differentiate, change and separate and form levels of organization. Why it matters? So humans, we are multicellular, can have different kinds of cells, tissues, organs and organ systems. Unicellular organisms. Uni means one. Prokaryotes are unicellular organisms. Some algae, some protists and some eukaryotes, for example yeasts, are unicellular, can still do everything they need to stay alive. Yeah, they can do everything. Benefits over multicellular organisms: need fewer resources, can live in harsher conditions. Okay, and multicellular organisms. Multi means more than one. Plants, animals, some protists, and most fungi are multicellular. Okay. Start as a single cell, many cells. Then cells differentiate, change into different types of cells, and then cells group together. Okay, like in this picture. Multicellular characteristics. Larger size, have less predators, yeah, and have more options of things to eat. Longer life, organism will continue to live even if a single cell will die. Specialization. Each type of cell has a specific job, making the organism more efficient. Okay, like in this picture, you could see different type of cells. Levels of organization. First level, cells. Yeah, but before cells, we could divide. We could find the levels of organization. Yeah, for example, atoms, molecules, and then organelles, and then cells. But let's say first level cells. Next one, tissues, organs, organ systems, and whole organism. Yeah. First, cells. Look at the cells. Cells can be specialized, have a certain function. Yeah. For example, job. Function is related to the cell structure, of course. Structure, how parts of the cell are put together. And it has special shape, materials it's made from. Structure of a brain cell is different from, for example, muscle cell. Second level is tissues. Tissue is group of cells that work together to do a specific job. Example, heart muscle tissue is made of heart muscle cells. Animals have 4 basic types of tissue, yeah? Nerve, muscle, connective, protective. Plants have 3 basic types of tissue: transport, protective, ground. Specialization cells develop from a single zygote. Organisms are made up of specialized cells. Okay. Zygotes first divide into embryonic stem cells. Yeah? Then stem cells develop in two stages. First, determination or committing to become one cell type. Differentiation or acquiring specialized structure and functions. Cells form tissues. Similar cells with a common function form tissues. There are four basic tissue types in human: epithelial, nervous, muscular, and connective. Specialized cells function together in tissues, organs, organ systems, and the whole organism. Specialized cells perform specific tasks. Tissues are a group of similar cells working together. Yeah, as we said, four types of tissues. Level 3, organs. Organ, a structure that is made up of two or more tissues working together to get a specific job done. For example, here you see organs, different organs: stomach, brain, pancreas, lung, kidney, heart, eye, liver, and so on. For example, stomach. Muscle tissue moves food. Special tissues makes chemicals to digest food. Connective tissue holds stomach together. Nervous tissue sends message back and forth between the stomach and brain. Okay. Level 4, organ systems. Organ system is group of organs working together to perform a specific function. Yeah. For example, here we have alimentary canal or digestive system. Yeah. In digestive system, we could divide this system into two parts. Basic parts and accessory organs. Yeah, alimentary canal and accessory organs. Alimentary canal starts in digestive system from mouth. Then it connects with the esophagus, let's say directly esophagus, then stomach, then after stomach the small intestine, large intestine, and rectum, yeah, for example. And accessory organs are here: salivary glands, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. Yeah, okay. Each organ system has a specific job. For example, digestive system is made of several organs, including the stomach and intestines. Okay, structure of animals. Cells, basic unit of an animal structure, become specialized, and then tissues made of cells that work together to perform a specific function. Organs made of different types of tissues that work together to perform a specific function. And organ system made of organs that work together to perform a specific function. And organism, whole organism. Now let's look at very interesting topic: stem cells. Stem cells, what is that? Stem cell, first definition: a cell that has the ability to continuously divide and differentiate, develop into various other kinds of cells, tissues. Yeah, stem cells could divide, continuously divide, and then become some type of cells. Plant contains stem cells in regions of meristematic tissue. Meristematic areas occur near root and stem tips. That is why plants grow vertically, mostly in this direction, yeah, because of meristematic areas, because we could find it in the root tip and stem tip. Okay, stem cell characteristics. Stem cells are blank cells, yeah, without any like specialization, unspecialized, capable of dividing and renewing themselves for long periods of time, proliferation and renewal, have the potential to give rise to specialized cell types, differentiation. Okay, kinds of stem cells. We could divide stem cells into three types. First, totipotent, pluripotent, and multipotent. Totipotent description. Each cell can develop into a new individual. Yeah, totipotent. For example, cells from early 1-3 days embryos. For example, 1-3 days embryo, let's say it has 8 cells. If you will divide that 8 cells, yeah, into the different test tubes, let's say, or petri dishes, at the end you could have 8 whole organisms, because these stem cells in this early stage of embryo, it has totipotent ability. Second one, pluripotent. Cells can form any over 200 cell types. Some cells of blastocysts from 5 to 14 days of embryo. What is the difference between totipotent, pluripotent? Yeah, pluripotent, it couldn't give now, if you will, for example, at the 5th day, could like separate one cell from the embryo, and you will grow from that new differentiated cells. You could, at the end, you will not have the whole organism. You, of course, could have 200 cell types. It could be any type of human body, but not the whole organism. Multipotent cells differentiated but can form a number of other tissues. It could form a number of other tissues, not so variety like in the pluripotent. Fetal tissue, for example, cord blood and adult stem cells have multipotent ability. If you look at this diagram, here you could see a sperm cell and egg cell, fertilized egg, then it becomes totipotent stem cell. After that, it makes blastocyte containing pluripotent stem cells. And if scientists will excrete, some cells from that, at the end you could have blood cells, nerve cells, or connective tissues. Okay. In this stage, cells have totipotent, in this stage pluripotent, and here multipotent. Okay, kinds of stem cells. Embryonic stem cells, 5 to 6 days old embryo, tabula rasa. Okay, embryonic germ cells, derived from the part of a human embryo or fetus that will ultimately produce eggs and sperm. Adult stem cells and differentiated cells found among specialized or differentiated cells in a tissue or organ after birth appear to have a more restricted ability to produce different cell types and to self-renew. Pluripotent are stem cells, more potential to become any type of cell. Yeah. Multipotent stem cells are limited in what the cells can become. For example, if you will take out stem cells from bone marrow, that cells could be only could give only blood cells, not, for example, I don't know, brain cells. Embryonic stem cells, mainly IVF. Okay, stages of embryogenesis. In first picture you see cleavage, second picture 8-cell stage, then blastocyte, then the last one blastocyte inner mass cell. Inner mass cell here in yellow, yellow mass, yeah. Okay, blastocyte diagram, fertilized egg, then in the number of 8 cells it is totipotent cells, then it become blastocyte. If scientists will excrete inner cell mass is pluripotent cells, and then scientists, now mostly biotechnologists, they are culture pluripotent stem cells and use in their research works. Adult stem cells and differentiated cells found among specialized or differentiated cells in a tissue or organ after birth. For example, we could find them in skin, fat cells, bone marrow, many other organs and tissues. Bone marrow, yeah, previously we looked at that. Bone marrow found in spongy bone where blood cells form, used to replace damaged or destroyed bone marrow with healthy bone marrow stem cells. Treat patients diagnosed with leukemia, aplastic anemia, and lymphomas. Need a greater histological immunocompatibility. Okay. Umbilical cord stem cells, или пупочные, да? Umbilical cord stem cells, also known as Wharton's jelly, adult stem cells of infant origin, greater compatibility, less expensive. For example, now exactly in Astana, in Kazakhstan, in biotechnology center, they use this method because it is not so expensive. And for example, when pregnant women give a birth, they ask permission to take some cells from umbilical cords, and in the future, in their research, they use them to grow, for example, let's say skin cells. Umbilical cord stem cells, 3 important functions: plasticity, potential to change into other cell types like nerve cells, homing to travel to the site of tissue damage, engraftment to unite with other tissues. Okay. Stem cell research and treatment. Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease are caused by loss of brain cells, and it is hoped that implanted Stem cells could replace many of these lost brain cells, thus relieving the disease symptoms. Yeah. Now scientists, they are hoping, they are looking and making lots of research in this area to treat exactly these two very heavy, very heavy, let's say, disease. Okay, also heart disease. Adult bone marrow stem cells injected into the heart are believed to improve cardiac function in victims of heart failure or heart attack. Leukemia or cancer. Studies show leukemia patients treated with stem cells emerge free of disease. Injections of stem cells have also reduces pancreatic cancers in some patients. Yeah. And type 1 diabetes. Pancreatic cells do not produce insulin. Yeah. Embryonic stem cells might be trained to become pancreatic islet cells needed to secrete insulin. Stem cells in the adult brain. You see here, for example, in the diagram, stem cells, and then how them differentiate into the neuron, into astrocyte, oligodendrocyte. Yeah, different type of nerve cells. Technical challenges are source. Cell lines may have mutations. It could be delivery to target areas, how to deliver stem cells into the needed area. Prevention of rejection also could happen. Suppressing tumors. Okay, why is stem cell research so important to all of human beings? Stem cells can replace diseased or damaged cells. Stem cells allow us to study development and genetics. Stem cells can be used to test different substances, drugs and chemicals. First, I would like clarify and ask you this question. From genetics, stem cells, why stem cells are different from other differentiated cells? What do you think? In one person, in the same person, the genetic information should be the same or different? Of course, it is the same, because if you will look at one person, the whole trillions of cells in his organism, they all have the same genetic information, the same genetic 46 chromosomes. Yeah. But what is the difference between stem cells and between already differentiated cells? If you remember previously, I said during the previous lessons that stem cells, they have the same genetic information, but they switch on. For example, in differentiated cells, they are switched on different parts, exact their parts are information. This is the basic difference. Okay, now look at stem cell research. There are important ethical involvement in stem cell research. Especially controversial is the use of embryonic or pluripotent stem cells. This is because these cells come from embryos often obtained from laboratories, carry out in vitro fertilization. To gather these cells involves death of embryo, and opponents argue that this represents the taking of a human life. On the other hand, it's argued that this research could result in the significant reduction of human suffering and is therefore totally acceptable. Okay, now about this problem. This problem is important because for right now we couldn't give an answer when embryo become an embryo has soul and become an person. That is why you know how scientists gather these inner mass cells. First, they artificially fertilize ovum with sperm cell. At the end, in the pluripotent stem cells stage, in blastocyte stage, they just take out only inner mass cells. And when scientists do that, that embryo, that other part of embryo will die. And now scientists think that some scientists couldn't accept this because, yes, this is true. It is like killing their embryo. And on the other hand, but this research could help lots of people to treat from their disease. Two sides. Okay, why the controversy over stem cells? Embryonic stem cells are derived from extra blastocytes that would otherwise be discarded following IVF. Excreting stem cells destroys the developing blastocyte embryo. Questions for consideration. Is an embryo a person? First question. Is it morally acceptable to use embryos for research? When do we become human beings? Yeah, because if scientists will not take out inner cell mass and put that embryo into the woman body, it could give a whole human. This is questions which we think about, which we should think about. And now, but again, for example, I will show you a short video about the skin replacement, how skin could be replaced with help of stem cells.
All living organisms are made up of cells. Humans are no exception. We're made up of a lot of different cells with a lot of different purposes. What cells are there inside your body, and what do they do?
Blood cells move oxygen around your body.
Muscle cells help you move.
White blood cells fight diseases.
The helper T cell is a cell in your body that kills viruses.
Brain cells take in and record information.
Hair cells make your hair grow.
Playing near water is dangerous enough, but when it's boiling hot, the results can be tragic. Michelle was less than a year old when she fell into a bath of hot water and had to be rushed to hospital. With burns over most of her arms and legs, doctors feared for her life. The usual way of treating a burn is to cut some skin from an unaffected part of the body and place it onto the wound to grow. But skin takes a long time to grow back, and the painful wounds need covering fast before infection sets in. So, Michelle's doctors decided to try out a new technique, growing skin in the laboratory. They start with a small sample of unaffected skin from the patient and cut it up into smaller pieces. Skin is made up of tiny building blocks called cells. Scrape a scalpel across the skin and some of the cells will rub off and fall into the surrounding liquid. To see them, you need to look through a microscope, which makes them look about 300 times bigger than they really are. Each round blob is a single cell. The cells are placed into a flask of nutritious pink liquid, which helps keep the cells alive and provides them with food and water for them to grow. Every few hours, cells divide. They don't get bigger, they simply grow in number. As they divide, they eventually cover the bottom of the jar. After 3 or 4 weeks, the cells have multiplied to form a thin layer of skin. What was once just a few individual cells has grown into a large sheet, but it's fragile and very flimsy. To make it easier to handle, this almost invisible sheet was clipped onto a piece of surgical dressing. A small sample of skin can be grown to produce about 50 of these sheets, which is enough to cover the burns on Michelle's legs.
Thanks.
After several months, Michelle's new skin is looking better. The new technique has proved a success, and by growing skin quickly in this way, it's helped save her life. Each small patch of skin grown in the laboratory was made up of about 2 million cells.
Thank you very much. I hope that you enjoy our today's lesson about organism organization and a tiny information about stem cells. See you on our next lesson.